Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello primary 4, how are you today? Today we are going to talk about respiratory system. But first, let's remember the last lesson in which we were talking about that our body consists of a group of systems and each system consists of a group of organs and each organ consists of a group of tissues and each tissue consists of a group of cells. And we said that the body systems are working together in full harmony to keep us alive. Today we are going to talk about respiratory system, which is responsible for respiration process. First, if you want to do any work, you must need energy. But how can you get this energy to do any work? We can get energy from the digested food by burning it with oxygen. This process is called respiration. So, respiration is a process of getting energy by burning the digested food with oxygen. But what about the structure of respiratory system? As we can observe in the following figure, which represents respiratory system, it starts with the nose. Nose is the first organ of respiratory system through which air can enter through pharynx, which is a common cavity between digestive system and respiratory system, as it is a common tube through which esophagus and trachea pass. Esophagus is a part of digestive system, while trachea is the third organ of respiratory system after pharynx, through which air can pass, and it is branched at its end into two bronchi. Each bronchus is branched into small bronchioles, which are branched through all each lung. Okay, so nose is the first organ of respiratory system. Then the lung, which is the organ through which gas exchange occurs between oxygen that we take in and carbon dioxide that we get rid of it. Okay, it consists of small structures called alveoli. Through their surface, gas exchange between oxygen and carbon dioxide occurs. And there is an important note that it is preferable to breathe through nose more than the mouth. That's why, because our nose contains some structures, it contains hairs that filters the air from dust and microbes before entering pharynx. It also contains mucus, which also filter the air from dust and microbes, and it contains blood capillaries, which are used for warming air before entering the two lungs. Okay, and the last organ is diaphragm, which is a muscle that helps in mechanism or the process of breathing. The structure of respiratory system, as we said, that it starts with the nose, then the pharynx, which is a common cavity between esophagus and trachea, then trachea. Trachea is a tube supported with incomplete cartilaginous strings to keep it open all time. As we can observe in the following figure, these are the cartilaginous rings which are lining the trachea from inner side to keep it open all time to allow air to enter the two lungs. Okay, it is lined also with cilia. Cilia are some structures which get rid of dust and volatile substances that may enter trachea during the process of inhalation or entering oxygen or air through trachea. Epiglottis, it is a structure, very important structure or very important organ which closes the top of trachea or larynx, okay, during the swallowing process to prevent entering the swallowed food into trachea, and it closes it so the food can transfer into esophagus and through alimentary canal. So it is very important structure which prevent entering the food into trachea during swallowing process. At the top of trachea, larynx or voice box, It is called voice box because our voice is produced through larynx. Structures of respiratory system, the two longest. As we said in the previous slide, that at the end of trachea it is branched into two bronchioles. Each bronchiole or each bronchus is divided into small bronchioles which are arranged or branched inside each lung. Okay, and at the end of each one there are small structures which are called alveoli that we are going to talk about. Okay, the two lungs, they occupy the chest cavity or thoracic cavity, and they are surrounded by ribs to protect them from any accidents. Okay, each lung contains a bronchus, okay, as we said, which is divided into bronchioles, and at the end of each one they are surrounded with or surrounded by some air sacs which are called alveoli. These structures, on their surface, gas exchange between oxygen and carbon dioxide gas occurs. So alveoli have thin walls and they are surrounded by a network of blood capillaries to allow the exchange of oxygen which goes into the blood and carbon dioxide which comes from body cells after the process of respiration or burning the digested food with oxygen. So as we can observe in the following figure, blood cells or red blood cells which carry carbon dioxide, they release it inside or in the surface of alveoli, and oxygen gets into the blood and it is carried on red blood cells to deliver them to body cells to produce energy by using this oxygen to burn the digested food. The last structure of respiratory system is diaphragm. Diaphragm is a muscle which helps in the mechanism of respiration, and it separates between thoracic cavity in which respiratory organs are present in and abdominal cavity in which digestive organs are present. And it plays an important role in inhalation and exhalation process as we will observe in the next slide. Inhalation and exhalation process. Inhalation is a process of entering oxygen in the two lungs, while exhalation is the opposite one. It is a process of getting rid of carbon dioxide out the two lungs. As we can observe in the following figure, it is a process of getting in oxygen. We can observe that during inhalation, diaphragm gets down, contract and gets upward. Diaphragm contracts and gets downward to enlarge chest cavity, while ribs gets upward to enlarge also chest cavity and allow a large amount of oxygen to enter into the two lungs, while during exhalation diaphragm in this process during inhalation it relaxes and gets downward, so it enlarges chest cavity, and ribs gets upward to enlarge chest cavity, while during exhalation diaphragm muscle contracts and ribs gets downward, so chest cavity gets more narrow and carbon dioxide gets outside the two lungs. The last part of our lesson is how to keep respiratory system healthy. First, avoid crowded places like transportation means. That's why, to avoid the transferring of respiratory diseases which are breathed during breathing process, and these diseases are transferred from one person to another through the air. Avoid also smoking, which is very harmful for the lungs and may lead to cancer. Eat fruits which are rich in vitamin C to protect yourself from cold, flu, and diseases of respiratory system. Practice sports every day to to keep your body healthy and get enough amount of oxygen every day. Avoid severe cold to protect yourself from the winter disease. Okay, that is all about our lesson, and I hope to see you in a next video. Thank you.